How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Liberty Hour, streaming through Spreaker Studio, the 16 Jackson AJ1 Twitter account, and the A2 Jack YouTube channel. I'm back with my friend Erik, and we were just talking about raves, and who you've gotten to see, who some of your favorite artists are, and stuff like that. One thing I actually came to my mind in between these parts, in between the intermission, was another thing about EDM is, for most places, at least, if you're going and seeing not a super popular artist, it's also quite affordable. Because most concerts are usually, from what I've noticed, 30 to 40 bucks, sometimes maybe 45, while your typical pop concert at a major venue like Golden One Center or, major rock artists will be somewhere between, anywhere between 75 to, 90 buck range. So do you think that, that plays an impact too on the popularity that EDM has received in the past multiple years?
I gotta say yes. Hold on, let me take a step outside.
You're good.
It's hot as hell in my room.
It's hot, dude. Yeah, dude. Welcome to Lincoln, dude.
It's
It's
hot.
80. It's been 85 today. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but yeah, it's just I think so because you know how pop concerts, rap concerts, they're seated, and I don't know, I don't like that. I'd like to be standing and just going crazy. So I think having just like that price where it's affordable and you get to stand like right in front of the DJs, I think that like really brings people in.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Another you just mentioned, liking to stand up over other parts, and that's what makes some people who are into EDM, in my opinion, so freaking crazy. Because we were talking about EDC in the last part. Dude, at that time of the fucking year in Las Vegas, it's 93 degrees, if not higher. Dude, it's hot as hell. I don't know how people can be out there for 16 hours, standing, listening to artists at multiple stages, and not getting, like, freaking dehydrated and sweating to where they basically disintegrate. It's amazing,
Um,
it just shows how, into it EDM fans really are.
yeah, because I mean, like you just get lost in the moment. The music's playing. People are jumping. People are like they're just hyping you up. So like time just goes really really fast. So like what I recommend is if you're going to EDC, kind of have an artist you really want to see. Because that way, time just flies when you're busy. You're like, oh, I'm just really into this music. You don't even care. You don't even feel the heat, dude.
Yeah.
But they do have water stations there. I'll tell you that. So if you bring a Camelback and you just go and refill your Camelback and just have water for days.
That's good. Yeah, because they much needed for that. What I was going to ask you now is, what are some recent raves that you have been to? What are some, besides the slushy one that you have next week, that you may be looking at for the future? And then how do you learn about them? Because, some of the ones you've gotten in Sacramento where it's not put out through like a major ticketing outlet like Ticketmaster or something like that. So where do you go to learn about all the upcoming raves around the area? And then, yeah, like I said, explain to me some of the recent ones you've been to, some of the ones you plan on for the future.
Recently I've been to. It was this event. It was called Crush, and that one was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, but towards the end it got kind of weird because he was playing like this movie, and it looked like, oh, here comes Jesus out of nowhere. Like it was a small like weird. It was just really weird what he did. Like I wasn't used to it. Oh, excuse me. But I've been to that one. I went to one. It was in a club. The DJ was great, but the club. As soon as I walked in, I kind of looked around. I was like, "Yo, there's way too many dudes in here." Like I don't know. I'm not homophobic or anything,
Sausage
but like
Fest?
it's just being like sardines with a bunch of dudes. I was just it's not what I was expecting,
It's a little whack.
Yeah, it was whack, dude. I was like, yo, I'm never going to a club ever again that has, this kind of vibe. But like overall, it was just kind of mosh pit after mosh pit. So I was like, yeah, fuck it, whatever, just hop in. But other than that, I think I've been to two other ones. Oh, I went a snow globe
That's
that's
right.
out in Tahoe. Dude, I gotta tell you, I was freezing my ass off. It was just crazy. It was crazy cold. We went the fucking coldest day out of the 3 days,
At
and
least
I
the
only went one
dancing
day.
keeps you warm.
Yeah, I'll tell you what keeps you fucking warm, dude. It's the liquor, dude. It just keeps you warm. I'm not gonna lie. I was drunk as shit. I didn't even feel the cold, but as soon as I was like sober, what's it called? You just feel the cold just instantly. I was like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But
Go
let's
ahead.
see. Other than that, I don't think there's been any other ones.
And then what do you have planned for the future? And then how do you learn about these raves that come around the areas?
For the future, well, I think Slushy might be the last one for the year.
Gotcha.
Well, for me at least, because artists kind of pop up here and there throughout the
Hmm.
year. So I just kind of find them as they go. They're like, oh, so and so's coming next month. I'm like, yo, I'm hopping on this. Boom.
Do you learn
So,
from friends or do you find it like through parts online?
well, most of mine, I kind of get off social media. So
Okay.
I follow the DJs. They're like, oh, I'm starting my tour soon. Here are the dates. Boom, 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 boom. But I also use this app. It's called EDM Train,
Okay.
and that one just kind of shows you like what artists are coming up soon. So it
Nice.
goes from here to the end of the year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so it just shows every single artist.
Awesome, cool. Yeah, I know Porter Robinson's coming to Oakland, but unfortunately, that is on the day that I am going to the U.S. Open, so that won't work.
Oh
I know, because I
man.
want to see him. I know that Ricky, Michael, Daniel, and Juan got to go see Galantis back, and I don't know if that was 2016 or 2017. And then nobody was able to go, but I know that Porter Robinson and San Holo actually were going to be playing together. I want to say it was out in McClellan and Sac at that same time. And now I look back on that and I'm depressed. But yeah.
uh, the thing is with me, I try to. It's not that I avoid the ones in SAC. It's just that they're all ages. So it's kind of it's not weird, but like it's like you're just with a bunch of minors, and I don't know. It's just I'm just used to 18 plus, so everybody's like old as shit, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody's just like everybody still vibes and all, but I don't know. It's just it's weird to me just knowing that there's like so many minors out in the crowd.
Right. And this will be the only political issue we'll get into on the show, and then after this, this will probably be it. Just because it came to my mind, because at EDM festivals, obviously there is a lot of fucking alcohol. There's a lot of liquor. Um, and,
Oh
and
yeah.
and like you mentioned, some places have it 21 and up, but a lot of places have it 18 and older. Obviously, and I've talked about this issue with other people on the show before. The legal age for alcohol consumption in the United States is 21 years old. It's more of an issue with young people because a lot of old people don't care about it because they are as of age when it comes to that time, which makes it a very hard issue, I think, to get changed if people are for it. But I wanted to get your thought is, do you think the age of alcohol in America to be allowed to consume should be 18 as an adult? If so, why? If not, why? And go ahead on that.
I gotta tell you, 21 is a good age, just because 18, I feel like you still like your mind isn't like there. It's not making the right decisions. So you kind of get caught up in the moment when you're like 18. You're still trying to figure things out. But like once you hit 21, you're not fully there. Like you're not fully I I want to say you're not fully matured, but you kind of have a better understanding of life. I get it. Like it's what 3 years of a difference, but those 3 years, like they really do make a difference. You know.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, that's been an interesting conversation I've had with people on the show. And and I've given my thoughts on it before. I think regardless what people's opinions are on it, regardless of what they want the age to be, if they wanted the age to be, 10 or if they wanted the age to be 40, I think the point is the law isn't going to necessarily stop people, and I know people consume it as early as if it's in their house from their parents and the parents don't know about it, or as to the point of if they're in high school and they're doing it with friends or they have other friends who have graduated high school. I would say that I don't like the idea of people doing drugs in general. Obviously, I try to be as much of a straight edge person as possible, and I understand that you don't want to market it to people to where it's not being sold. I just think in terms of consumption of it, there's not much you could do to stop it. That's just my thoughts on that.
Right, and you bring up a good point. I kind of went blank there too with my thing, but honestly, it doesn't matter what if you put an age restriction. You put a restriction on whatever, people will get to it,
Mm-hmm.
They will find a way to get to whatever they want to get. So It doesn't matter, what, I'm gonna set it to this age, or I'm gonna put it so that only this amount of people can get it, it doesn't matter. People will still get it. So it doesn't, I don't know. I just don't find the point in putting a restriction,
Yeah, it's definitely a tough issue, and it's something that probably won't see much changes on it anytime soon, regardless if it gets raised or lowered, but definitely an interesting conversation to have. But, hey, Erik, man, I wanted to thank you very much for coming on, man. I had a great time, getting to talk about your music, getting to talk about everything. I know this is only your first time on, but I'd definitely love to have you back. Thank you very much, man. I greatly appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, bro. Thank you for having me, bro. I need to speak my mind for a while. I just been having crazy days, and it's been a good outlet. I'm not gonna lie, I'd love to come back whenever, bro.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, you have a very good night, and I will talk to you soon.
All right, thank you, bro. Have a good night.
All right, peace, man.
All right, later.
All right, so that was my friend Erik. Thank you, Erik, for being on. Had, like I said, a great conversation about music and everything with you. It was great. I will have to cut the song, unfortunately, a little bit short as I ran over a little bit more than I expected. I'm going to play a quick song from 3 Days Grace, and we'll be right back to the show. And I will be going over my thoughts on who will be in the NFL playoffs, who will be in the Super Bowl, who will win it, everything since schedules were released yesterday. And then I will get out of here. This is 3 Days Grace, 3 Days Grace, 3 Days Grace, the Good Life. We'll be right back, everybody.